Hey, look at that. We got a new setup, part of the Christmas thing, I guess. And Merry Christmas, everybody. This video is being filmed after Christmas, and you'll probably see it after Christmas, and that's extremely exciting. And I got some really cool Christmas gifts. I hope you got some cool Christmas gifts too. But we got a camera, boys. And I'm dicking with that, and I'm figuring that out. But still, until I figure it out, we're gonna be shooting with the phone on 4K, and that's just how it's gonna be. So anyway, in the midst of me putting my desk together with my setup, my keyboard still downstairs, I got my music thing set back up here. The Forever Talking studio is looking great. I still got instructions and trash everywhere from new tripods and new, cameras and all sorts of stuff like that, and we're really excited about it. But in the background, I have Martin Scorsese's The Irishman up on Netflix. Now, The Irishman's not the movie that I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to talk about another movie that's on Netflix that was also directed by Martin Scorsese, one of my favorite movies of all time, and one of the most perfect movies I've ever seen, The Wolf of Wall Street. The Wolf of Wall Street is starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Jonah Hill, Margot Robbie, Jon Bernthal. It is directed by Martin Scorsese. The cast of this film is just absolutely incredible, and it is literally about being an absolute degenerate scumbag piece of shit who steals money in the stock markets on Wall Street. Now, I want to warn everybody that if you haven't seen this movie, you need to absolutely go see it as fast as you can. It will not be on Netflix for much longer, so I definitely urge you to check it out. But just the other day, I decided to flick this movie back on, even though I've seen it 50 million times, and I was not disappointed once again. This movie it's just great. And that's not really a shock, right? Like I said so many times, if you have an interesting plot with the right director and the right main character and the right cast, you, in most cases, will get a really good movie. This movie was directed by one of the greatest, if not the greatest director of all time, Martin Scorsese. How many flops has he made? Not many. It's got the perfect main character and plot. Leonardo DiCaprio plays Jordan Belfort, who is the star of this film. And it's based off the real-life story of Jordan Belfort, or the book The Wolf of Wall Street, which I believe that's what the book is called. I believe this was the movie that Margot Robbie got her breakout role. And in this film, she plays Naomi, who is the wife of Jordan Belfort. And a lot of people like myself at the age where this movie came out, Margot Robbie was the contribution to why so many boys became men. That's a fucking terrible joke, and I'm so sorry, but you understand. She just is great in this movie. Even towards the end where things need to get a little more serious with her character, she does that great too, and that's probably why she is as popular as she is today, because we figured out that she's not the typical Michael Bay, really pretty woman, sex appeal attraction in a movie. She is a phenomenal actor who plays a phenomenal character, and when it became time for Naomi to become resentful with the life that she lives and resentful with her husband and almost afraid in some sense, and a protecting, loving mother, she does that unbelievably well. But the main star of this show is obviously Leonardo DiCaprio as Jordan Belfort. How the fuck Leonardo DiCaprio didn't get an Oscar for this film is shocking to me. Thank God he ended up getting it for The Revenant, which I guess he played, he acted his ass off in The Revenant, but this film, he just becomes a different person. He is Jordan Belfort. He is the cocky, not humble, piece of shit, scumbag coward that Jordan Belfort is, hiding behind all that money in this film. Now, I've ever met Jordan Belfort in real life. I don't know what he's like, but if he's anything like how he's supposed to be perceived in this film, that's the whole thing, right? He's a coward. He's a drug addict who hides behind his money and drugs and just scams his way through life. Jonah Hill plays Donnie. The perfect side character for this film. Incredibly funny movie, and he's an incredibly funny character. John Bernthal's great in this movie, even though he's not in it all that much. It's a pretty long film, but it doesn't feel long at all. Like, I can sit and watch this movie from front to back and be entertained thoroughly with no issues whatsoever. And I've talked multiple times on the channel about long movies feeling really, really long. Even great movies like The Batman drags out in some parts. Why this movie is so perfect to me is that it never feels like it drags. Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio put together some pretty unbelievable scenes in this movie, and he's even said it himself that they could have gone farther if they wanted to, just based off what the book was. But with that being said, whenever you have a director and an actor pushing themselves to go beyond what they, be beyond their image or their limits, you can create something that it just speaks to the character, I guess. But from front to back, from the beginning of this movie of Jordan just becoming an unknown stockbroker on Wall Street to meeting Matthew McConaughey's character, who is also in the position that Jordan wants to be in, basically from the bottom of the pit of hell to him having aspirations to becoming a millionaire and becoming a very famous, popular person and dragging his way up to the top, scamming and cheating along his way, and ultimately losing himself, losing who he is, becoming a cheater, becoming an addict, becoming a thief, essentially, losing himself and who he is, only to fall and crash back down. The rise and fall is something really great to see. It's a comedy in a lot of ways, but it's there's something more going on here. It's shot pretty gorgeously. Jordan lives a very luxurious life, and they do that, and they shoot that as such with giving him an extremely nice house and taking his extremely large yacht to very bright and pristine places to just kind of showcase the lifestyle that Jordan lives. But it's not just that. The Office is shot great, and the environment and the characters and the world that Martin Scorsese builds, all of it makes sense. Something so silly about having a rambunctious, destructive, degenerate-filled office. It just feels so lively the way it's shot. In theory, that's a simple concept to make, but Scorsese does it in a way where it's like every character in that office is becoming Jordan Belfort in their own way. But there's just nothing about this movie that I hate or dislike, really. I just think it's, as far as the genre that they picked and the topic that they picked and the story that they wanted to tell, they couldn't have picked a better actor, a better cast, and a better director, and I don't think they could have done it better. I would have loved to see a director's version where they go even further and they go deeper into the book and the more fucked up shit that they can conjure up. But the boundaries that they push in this film are pretty far, and it makes for the world that they're trying to build in the cast of characters that are all degenerates, pieces of shit, and they do it really well. So in my opinion, The Wolf of Wall Street is a perfect film, and I definitely urge you to check it out. I got more videos coming soon. Make sure you check out the last episode of Forever Talking, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Peace, love, adios, bye.